Okay, in order to change these printhead ribbon cables, first things first, we need to remove these two side covers. Okay, so each side cover has 4 screws, 2 located on the top and 2 located on the bottom of the inner frame. Okay, on this side as well, you have 2 screws on the top and 1 screw on the outside part and 1 on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to release these screws. Once you remove the 4 screws for each side panel, you're going to just remove it. So on the right side, make sure you remove the maintenance tank out. And then you're going to go ahead and release the side panel off. Okay, and you're going to remove the side cover on the left side. Once you have removed both side covers, what we need to do now is to take this front panel off. Okay, there are a great amount of screws here, so I'm going to try to point to them as best as possible. On the right side of the front panel, you're going to take out 2 screws, one here and one here. Okay, then we're going to move on to the one right here, then the one going in here, then here, then here, over here, next screw, and on the left side of the front panel, there's 1 screw. Okay, now, below the front panel, there are 2 screws, one on the right side and one on the left. Once you have removed them, then you can take the front panel off. Just be very careful. There are some ribbon cables and ink lines in there, so you just want to gently just lift up and pull out. And this is what you're going to see. You're going to see ink lines on the left and the right, and then the ribbon cables here that lead over to the printhead. We need to release the printhead carriage unit and move it to the center. So you're going to hit the blue solenoid, release the carriage unit, and just place it in the middle. We need to take the gray smoky cover on the carriage unit off, and it's held by 3 screws, one on the top here, one on the side here, and one on the side over here. Okay, I've already did the privilege to take the screws out, so I'm gonna just lift the smoky gray cover off, and now you have your ribbon cables all exposed. After you take the gray smoky cover off, what we need to do now is actually flip the carriage unit over and undo 3 screws to release the head from the carriage unit. There's 2 ribbon cables, which are 0 and 00, that are plugged into the printhead itself. So as you can see, you're going to pull and push out the encoder strip. Next, you're going to take the belt off. Okay, then you're going to slide the belt on top, push the carriage unit towards you, and then lift up and flip over. Okay, once you have flipped over the carriage unit, there are 3 small screws, and you will be using a small fine point Phillips screwdriver to take the 3 screws. So 1, 2, and 3. Once you release the 3 screws, you're just going to push and pull on the printhead bezel and expose the dampers and the printhead. Okay, there are 3 more screws, 1, 2, and 3, that you must take out in order to get access to these ribbon cables. Okay? Once you take the 3 screws off the printhead, you will be removing the bezel, as you can see here. So please keep the bezel in a safe area. Then you want to face the printhead face up, and you will be removing each ribbon cable one at a time, just like this. Okay, and make sure you don't touch direct contact with the silver contacts, as you can see over here. So be very careful. Okay, once you've removed the head, you're going to flip the carriage unit back over. Okay, and you're just going to nicely place it down. And there is a black clip right here. Okay, it keeps the ribbon cables intact and not loose. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take your hand and just lift up on the clip and it releases. Now next, after you do that, you will be unplugging the 000 cable, which we call a 000 cable, and you're just going to release it. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to pull it out of the slot, and now you have one end loose. Now if you look over here, you're going to see plastic clips that actually hold and guide the ribbon cables in so it doesn't get all loose and crazy. So in order to properly take this out, this is my strategy, I like to bend the ribbon cables a little bit and just kind of peel it off. And you're going to repeat for each one. Okay, as you can see, I took out the ribbon cable off the little plastic tracks. Now next is you're just going to do the bend motion again, and you're just going to slightly bend the cable and try to kind of yank out. And also here you want to bend the cable a little bit and slide it out. And then over here in the front, it's protected by this white clip. All you have to do is just unclip one side, and now you can slide the ribbon cable out. You're just going to release this out because we will be taking the ribbon cables out from this end, not from all the way this end. So you're going to make sure that the 5 cable is always on the far left. The 4 cable is in the middle between the 5 and the 6, and the 6 is all the way to the right. So just to reiterate this, it's the 5 cable on the left, 4 cable in the middle, and the 6 cable all the way on the right. Okay, and it is, you will see a little magnet bar. Now you're going to pull each cable out one at a time. Okay, just like how I'm doing it right now. And you're going to see this little gray noise reduction little slot here. And you're going to pull this out nice and slowly. Okay, and now once you have all the cables loose, you're going to bring it up from the top, bottom to top. Okay, just like this. And now you have your ribbon cables free. Now to get your new cables in, you're just going to, the best way of doing it really is the ribbon cables that you receive will have all these bends, as you can see. All these bends will be there on the ribbon cable. So all you really need to do is just kind of use a little bit of logic and basically just try to see where each cable goes. But just to let you know, usually the bends are 5, which sticks out a little bit longer, as you can see here, then the 4 in the middle, and the 6. Okay. Now on this end, you're going to see that it's a little bit crazier because of the 000 cable, but we'll get to that in a little bit in the video. But I just want to make sure that this part has to get plugged in first. So you're going to locate which one the 0 cable is, and you're just going to take the one that's bad and just replace the new one on there. Once you have placed the new cable on, you're going to slide the noise reduction little bar back in, one at a time. Okay. Just like this. And you're just going to slide it in. Just like that. Once you you have placed the noise reduction bar onto the 3 ribbon cables, now we're going to plug this into the slots, okay? I like to start with the smallest, the shortest one, which is a 6, which belongs on the far right port. So just bring this underneath, plug the 6 cable in, be very careful. Okay, then I like to work with the number 4, which is the middle one. And then last but not least, the number 5 on all the way on the left side. Just in case you forget which one is which, the camera is actually pointed, and if you look above the slot, it says CN5, CN4 in the middle, and CN6 on the far right. So that's just letting you what the cable number is. So just in case you forget which one goes to which, just look above the slot and for the CN number. Okay, so once you have inserted the cables into the proper slots, what you're looking for is the first diagonal bend right here. So it's usually where this noise reduction stops at. So you're going to have this bend on the left side of this little slot where the ribbon cable falls into, just like this. Okay? And you're going to see the ribbon cables on the left side stick out a little bit. That's okay. Okay? Now, the second bend bends the opposite way of the first bend, which is right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on this little bend, and we're going to bend this cable naturally, as you see here, and we're just going to kind of feed this cable through this in this general direction, as you see in the videotape. Just like this, you're going to feed the cable through. When you get to the part right here, just be careful not to crinkle and crimp the wires too much. But if you need to take it one at a time, that's fine. Okay, and just like this, and the ribbon cables should come out. Now, if you look at right here again, as you can see, the bend is here and the little notch. Okay, in order to seal this in, okay, we're going to get this clip and we're going to seal the clip into the little slot like this. Okay? And now you have this part of this operation done. Next, this part is done after you feed the ribbon cables through. You're going to slightly bend the cable. Doesn't matter which direction, but you want to feed it through these two teeth. And this triangle part of the bend should appear right after you place it in there. Now you're going to bend this forward, okay, and then also you're going to keep it in these little slots. And you're going to have to bend the cable slightly. Okay, just like this. Okay, so the triangle piece fits nice and easy on this triangle shaped clip. Once you have placed the triangle part in the triangle shaped clip, then you're just going to bend the cable slightly inwards and you're just going to place it in these little white plastic clips again. And you're just going to repeat it all the way through. Place the ribbon cables in its track with these little plastic clips. Now this is the interesting part of the whole thing here. You want to make sure that the bends are together. So it's a little puzzling. Sometimes it does get a little confusing, but usually the 00 cable should be on the bottom and the 00 cable is on top, but the 000 cable is in the middle and it kind of origamis itself in like this. I'm not sure if this is the best view for it, but just try to use your best judgment alongside with using this video as a reference tool. But this is what you want to see. The triple zeros right here. The double zero is on the bottom and the zero is on the top. So once you connect it, it should look something like this. Okay. Now, next is what you're going to do is you're going to place the ribbon cable into this slot on the side of the carriage unit. So you're just going to just push it in. Okay. And once you have done that, be careful. There is a loose black wire in there, so that might prevent you from bringing it in there. So just be careful. And the first thing I usually do is I'll plug the 000 inside its slot, which is right here. Okay. Next, I'll get this black clip again, and usually if you look at the profile view, the correct way is this little stem sticking out on the side goes to the left side. You want to push against it and just push in, just like that. Okay, so once you have connected the 000, place that little black clip and slid the 0 and 00 cable into this little slot. Now all you have to do, and hopefully you guys know how to do this, you're just going to put everything back together. So you're going to flip it around, and you're just going to place your print head back on here, close it with the bezel, and then lock the bezel in, and you have successfully rerouted new ribbon cables through. And of course, you're going to seal off your front panel and put your side panels back on. And hopefully this video should help you on how to route your wires. Thank you.